What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Dog Talk with Holden. Hope you guys are doing all right this evening. Finally get a little bit of football on the field this upcoming weekend as we take a look back at, unfortunately, a week off due to some coronavirus concerns in the Missouri program. So we didn't get to play last week, and the last time we saw the field was unfortunately losing to the Florida Gators, which we absolutely hate to do. And unfortunate for Mississippi State, who's going to be coming into this one. Georgia's going to be mad. Georgia's going to be coming off of, again, like I just said, we lost to Florida 2 weeks ago, and then we had to sit on it for an extra week due to those coronavirus concerns out of Missouri. So I really do hate it for Mississippi State because I think Georgia should come into this one fighting and bad and mad. So let's get to a little bit of the news real quick while I'm on it real quick. Let me hit back on one of my other buttons here if I can get it to go. There we go. All right. So first thing first, prayers out to Jake Scott and his family. Former Georgia All-American defensive back Jake Scott passed away on Thursday. He was a member of the College Football Hall of Fame and the Miami Dolphins, Hall of Honor is what they call it. He was a College Football Hall of Famer and an MVP in the Super Bowl. He was 75 years old. He was also a consensus All-American on the 1968 Georgia football team as a defensive back and a punt returner. He was also a key player on the 1972 unbeaten Dolphins team. So prayers out to him and his family. Again, he was 75 when he passed. Some of the other news that's been coming out is we do actually have a named starter in this one, which I can't believe. Kirby finally decided to come out instead of making everybody wait and wonder to see who's going to touch the field. He finally decided to say, all right, JT Daniels, you are our starter. So let's get in here and make it happen, which I was glad to see. One other thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we jump too deep into our football stuff is congratulations out to number one pick in the NBA after the draft earlier this week was Anthony Edwards of Georgia Bulldogs. Great basketball player there for your Dogs, and he does come in as the number one pick. A couple of your other pro draft deals that happened here in 2020, which was kind of cool. On the football side of things, was Andrew Thomas was picked number 4 there for the NFL, and Emerson Hancock there for the MLB was picked number 6. So we had some top picks there out of the state of Georgia, which was fantastic. Hopefully Georgia can continue that in the years to come, putting guys in that first round and being high prospects like that. That's fantastic. So congratulations out to those guys. I know that Anthony there is going to have a great season, no doubt, and career there in the NBA because he's a great baller for sure. Back to the Georgia football program here for a minute. Again, get to play at home, 7:30 on the SEC Network, prime time there on the SEC Network at least, as Mississippi State Bulldogs travel to our Georgia Bulldogs. Dogs against Dogs in this one. Mike Leach coming in against us for the first time this season. We'll see Mike Leach and how he shakes out. Again, like I said a little bit ago, JT Daniels will be the quarterback. A lot of talks coming out as far as jerseys. I do think we're going to see, if I was predicting, I do think we're going to see those Georgia black jerseys come out in this one because really the only other one that I think you have an opportunity to wear them is Vanderbilt at the end of the season, and Vanderbilt's already got black in their jersey first of all, but at the same time, why do you want to black out Vandy? Yeah, not really. So maybe they shake them out in this one. I think it would be cool to see it. We've been dealing with some injuries. I do think George Pickens is going to be back in this one. I also think on defensive side of things that Jordan Davis hopefully will be back as well. He's been battling that elbow injury. George Pickens has been practicing this week, which is really good news, especially you get JT Daniels in there, which Kirby has kind of been praising as far as he's been rehabbing that knee really well. His mobility's gotten better. He's got a strong arm. He's fast through progressions, which is fantastic because that's what we need at this point. No knock on Stetson or DeWan, but it's time for the change. It's time for somebody to come in and really get this offense going and high-powered. Now, one thing I do want to kind of encourage you guys is coming into this game, I don't want y'all to think that we're going to put 78 points on the board the first game that we get JT in there. Now, one good thing is I know he's been sitting in there not only playing for the scout team and trying to get as many reps where he can and how he can. He's also been really studying that playbook as well. So I'm hoping that Todd Monken has been able to kind of open things up And the deeper we get in the season, if the offense can stick with it, I think that if we can start to open that playbook up, Georgia does start to get some more playmaking ability alive, especially start getting these guys back there from injury and things of that nature. And George Pickens is one of those key guys. I mean, for a guy who's only gotten, 13 touches, just over 100 yards, coming in as a preseason All-American pick, basically, and one of the top wide receivers in not only the country, but especially in the SEC, one of the tops. And he just really hadn't showed out so far. So I'm hoping these last few games of the season he can really do that. Kind of expect him to. One other cool thing that I did hear earlier was Richard LeCount talking about he is going to finish this season with his Dogs, which is always a good thing to hear, because he wants to be able to be out there on the field with the guys and playing ball. So we look forward to that whenever he does get to make his return. Obviously, we pray for a continued speedy recovery, and that when he does come back, he feels good and strong. Got your scores and your top 25 put up there on the board. We did get another time slot jump in. We get another prime time on the SEC Network. Same time next week against South Carolina at South Carolina. So look forward to that one. Still hadn't got any information on that Vandy, Georgia game. If I had to guess, it's either going to be at lunchtime or 3:30. We really hadn't had too many 3:30 kicks this season, but also really hadn't had lunchtime kicks either. So, of course, sometimes, you just kind of forget all about it. When it comes down to it, it's kind of hard to believe that we're really only 4 games away from bowl season. It's slipped by us. I mean, we're already in the middle of November and looking to come to the end of November here. Before you know it, Christmas will be here, and boom, we'll be done with this 2020 year and hopefully kicking the 2021 season off with a bang and getting things started there in a good way. I'll get to some of your stats and your numbers here as far as this game goes between Georgia and Mississippi State here. Georgia does come in as a big 25-point favorite. Don't let that number scare you guys too much. I do like it, though, just because I do think that Georgia has the ability and could most definitely put those kind of points up. Will they? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It's hard to see if we're really going to hit that point or not. We will see. Like I said, over-under on it's 44.5. I do think that's a bit low. I do think Georgia's still going to at least put some points up. I just don't know if it's going to be quite as much as people are thinking. If Georgia can put up 45 points, that's going to be fantastic, especially if we can hold Mississippi State under, say, like 17 or so. That'd be awesome for sure. But, again, I just don't want everybody thinking that Georgia's about to score 78 points in there. If it happens, awesome, and we'll deal with that once time comes. Some of your stat leaders here, Stetson Bennett, we're going to take him off the board. He's still hurt with that separated shoulder deal. What do they call it? AC strain, something like that. KJ Costello is the leading passer there for Mississippi State. I would assume that he's going to be the quarterback again. I'm not 100% on that. I know he's been benched in the past because of a ton of interceptions. I mean, he's thrown for 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, but look, he's thrown 10 interceptions. Not very good there. Rushing side of things, Zamir White is your leader there for the Dogs. 97 carries, 509 yards, 7 touchdowns. Cyrus Mitchell is the receiving leader there for Mississippi State. He looks to be the key guy for him. 26 receptions, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns. For the Dogs, it's Kearis Jackson, 27 receptions, 396 yards, just a touch under 400, 2 touchdowns on the night or on the season. Hopefully we can get him a lot of those yards, as well as George Pickens. I think if we can start to get those guys out wide, we stand a really good chance. Georgia comes into this one scoring 29 points a game. Mississippi State only 16, so we're at advantage there. Mississippi State gives up 27, so basically if they'll give up those 27, Georgia will get what they normally do, and Georgia gives up 20. Total yards, Georgia's a touch better, 382 to 324 for Mississippi State. And that all comes from the air and the ground game. It makes a big difference. Georgia's good on the ground, rushing for almost 150 yards more than Mississippi State. But Mississippi State is almost throwing for 100 yards more, so they're going to be another one of those air raid kind of teams against us. Yards allowed, we're pretty even there defensively. 359 Mississippi State, 345 for Georgia, and all that is mainly through the air. Georgia's only given up 82.8 on the ground. whereas Mississippi State's giving up 127.2, and the others again come through the air. Georgia's giving up a lot in the air, almost 300 yards, 262, whereas Mississippi State's 232. So if Georgia can throw for 230 yards, that's awesome, and run for 127, we'll be just fine. We should win the game with ease. And if we can hold them to that, basically all these numbers will even up. I do have a couple of picks for you guys that I will get to in just a minute. According to ESPN's FPI rating, Georgia is a 93.6% chance to win this one. Mississippi State only a 6.4. So against the spread, the Dogs are 2-4, whereas Mississippi State's 1-5. Hopefully, Dogs kind of keep those numbers rolling. Kickoff again at 7:30. Weather looks nice, 72 degrees there in Athens. Looking forward to that. Let me get our picks up on the night. Throw it up here on the board for you guys. All right, if my stuff won't change, here we go. So far, there we go. Not the best. 9-8 on the season. I'm looking a lot better on my other picks on my other show that I do that you guys have unfortunately had to listen to. My pick for Georgia this week. I think Georgia wins at 38-17, so I'm going to take that over 44.5 there. Like I said, I think that number's just a bit too low because I do think Georgia gets some stuff going. They do get the win, I think, 38-17, which I'm A-okay with on that. And my kind of lock of the week or pick of the week outside of the Georgia game, I'm going to go with the LSU-Arkansas game. I think that number's way too low there for Arkansas to be a 2.5-point underdog at the house. I think Arkansas gets the win 31-27. So give me that 2.5 points there for Arkansas. I think they get it done by more than that. So that's my picks on the weeks. I'll run through a couple of your games outside of the Georgia game real quick. You do have Florida Vanderbilt. That one's kicking off at 12 o'clock on ESPN. Florida looks to continue rolling in that one. LSU Arkansas, like I just said, I think Arkansas gets the win there. Alabama Kentucky, Alabama's going to continue to roll. Tennessee Auburn, that'll be a fun one to watch there at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Auburn should get the win there at the house. They are a 10.5-point favorite. We'll see. Tennessee can sometimes give some teams fits, but I don't think they do in this one. Missouri, South Carolina, that's just the one I think see there at 7:30 on the SEC Network. Alternate at the same time, Georgia will be playing on the other channel there. I don't know. I really just think that's fighting to see who's one notch above Vanderbilt there in the East. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, that game did get canceled, so that is the only game, luckily, in the SEC this week that's canceled, so we do actually get to continue to see some games around the SEC. Looking at some of the top games around the country outside of your Dogs here surrounding this, you do have Indiana and Ohio State, which is going to have big implications as far as playoffs go, just because number 9 Indiana 4-0, number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State huge home favorites, 20.5. They're against a top 10 opponent. And this is going to decide who's going to play Wisconsin or Northwestern on the other side of the Big Ten in the championship game coming at the end. I believe there's a lot of football still to be played, but I really think these are the 4 teams that it's going to be. And again, there at 3:30 on ABC, you do get number 10 Wisconsin traveling to number 19 Northwestern. Wisconsin is a 7.5-point favorite on the road there at Northwestern. Northwestern is 4-0 on the season. Wisconsin 2-0. Obviously, they had been battling some corona issues, so Brock Purdy, I think he's going to be looking to get things rolling there for Wisconsin at Northwestern because they have looked good so far in the season. A couple of the other games, I was looking at this one earlier. Tulane was up 14-0 on Tulsa. Again, this is here on Thursday that I'm recording this. You're probably listening to it on Friday, whenever you're listening to it. Nonetheless, this is from Thursday the 19th. Tulane did look to go up 21-0. But it was tied up just a minute ago, just under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and I just see with just over a minute and a half to go in the game, Tulane just scored again to go up 21-14 over number 25 Tulsa. Tulane always giving teams fits. They are 5-4 in the American this year. Overall they're 2-4 in the American. Tulsa 4-1, 4-0 in the American. That one on ESPN. Again, by the time you guys hear this, it'll be over. But as of right now, Tulane is up 21-14. So if you hear any differently or if it ends any differently, there could have been a crazy ending at this one. I'm not sure. A couple of other ones outside of your Georgia Bulldogs, Clemson and Florida State. Not really much to pay attention to in that one. I did look at 12 o'clock slate as well, is on ESPN2. App State taking on Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is undefeated, 7-0 in that 15 spot. Watch out, though. App State is a good team. They are 6-1 coming into this one. Coastal Carolina only a 5.5-point favorite. Rightfully so, because, again, App State is a good team. Cincinnati traveling to UCF at 3:30 on ESPN. It's another close one there to watch out for. Kansas State, Iowa State, just because Kansas State can always throw a little bit of a loop in things. Then you got Bedlam there at 7:30 on ABC. Number 14, Oklahoma State, traveling to number 18, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 7-point favorite coming into that one. Undefeated 8-0, number 21, Liberty, traveling to 5-3, NC State. NC State is actually a favorite, 3.5 at home there. That one's 7:30 on ESPN2. Utah getting the season started there against USC at 10:30 Saturday night on ESPN. So you do get that late Pac-12 game. USC a 3-point favorite coming into that one. A couple of other postponements around the country. Georgia Tech and Miami. A lot of stuff going on down there in Miami, so that one has been postponed. Charlotte Marshall has been postponed. Texas Kansas has also been postponed and canceled. Is Central Arkansas and Louisiana. So that's what everything's looking like. Number that I was going to run through for you guys around the SEC. A chance for a college football playoff team to get in is 97%, whereas multiple around the SEC is 17. Big Ten, 96% chance for a team to get in out of the Big Ten, 26% chance for two. That I think is going to boil back to that. Indiana, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. ACC has an 81% chance for somebody to get in, 10% chance for two. Pac-12 has 35% chance, less than 1% for multiple, and the American has 12% chance for somebody to get in, but less than 1% for multiple. So fun little numbers for you guys there. Back to the Georgia Bulldogs real quick. I do, again, think Georgia gets a pretty good win here against Mississippi State. I think a lot that we have to look forward to is how Georgia can end this season. I think Georgia not only has to win out, but I think we should really start to get some offensive things going. We did actually pick up. I meant to mention this earlier, and I didn't. Let me jump back up here to it because I had it saved. Sorry, I'll take a quick minute here, and doesn't make it any good when I don't talk to you guys when I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, does it? Well, yeah, there we go. Got a commitment here on the recruiting side of things. 5-star linebacker Smile Munden comes in as the nation's number 2 linebacker prospect and the number 25 overall prospect out of Baldwin County High School in Dallas, Georgia. So he is a homer and gets to stay home for us. He was down to Georgia, Auburn, and Tennessee, and ultimately took the Dogs in the pick there, which is fantastic, obviously, for Georgia. We'll continue to watch the trail there. Again, I think a lot of what we have to do this season is finish off strong and basically get prepped up for the rest of this season, as well as get prepped up for 2021. You know, you got Brock Vandegrift coming in there. I think if we can figure out what JT Daniels is going to do in these last 4 games of the season, you stand a good chance to have him. Obviously, Carson Beck in there as well, and see how those guys shake out. Obviously, DeJuan Mathis can always have improvement as well. And we'll see how things go for him. Obviously, injuries is another thing that we just have to come back from. And we've got a lot of guys that should be back next year off of these tough injuries that we've had this season. But nonetheless, I mean, there's not much you can do about it outside of that. I do, again, expect Georgia to get a good win here against Mississippi State. 7:30 SEC Network. Get that right here. On Saturday. Look forward to hearing from you guys. You guys follow me on Twitter at DawgTalk20. Throw that up on the screen for you guys. It's a little bit old as far as that post. That's been a couple of days ago. Anyways, but you guys follow me on there. Would love to get a little bit better following as far as that goes. I don't have the most followers on there, but I'm trying to get a few here and there, and all that fun stuff. Let me get my stuff popped up back here on the screen. Boop, there we go. And there it is on the bottom of the screen. So that's all I've got for you guys. Make it an easy weekend for us. I will check in with you guys once we get to Sunday after the games. And that's it. Again, this is Dawg Talk with your host, Holden. Hope you guys have a good weekend and go Dogs.